night was wet and restless. Rain poured down in sheets, drumming on rooftops, splashing into open gutters, and turning the Lagos streets into winding rivers of muddy water. Under the rusted zinc awning of an abandoned shop, a boy stood with his arms wrapped around himself. His clothes clung to his small frame like a second skin. His bare feet rested in a puddle, but he didn't care. This was Tunde's life. At 15, Tunde had already lived through more pain than most men twice his age. He was 8 when tragedy struck. His parents, who sold bread by the roadside, had been killed instantly in a road accident. The distant relatives who took him in did so out of pity, not love, and it wasn't long before the beatings and hunger pushed him back into the streets. The streets were cruel, but at least they were honest. Tunde learned quickly: you eat if you walk, you sleep if you find shelter, and you survive if you keep your head low. That night, the rain was heavy, and the city was quiet except for the occasional splash of a passing kiki. Tunde pressed his thin frame against the wall, shivering. His stomach growled, but he pushed the feeling away. Hunger was an old friend, loud, but patient. He was about to curl up and sleep when he saw her. The woman in the rain. Through the curtain of rain, she appeared, a woman, well-dressed but moving unsteadily, her steps heavy, her head bowed. The streetlight caught the water running down her face, but Tunde saw something else: pain. Her right hand was pressed against her swollen belly. Tunde hesitated. In Lagos, it was dangerous to involve yourself in strangers' problems. People could easily twist the story, and a street boy like him would always be blamed. But something in her slow, desperate movement pulled him forward. "Madam, you dey okay?" he asked, stepping into the rain. The woman lifted her head. She was pale, her breathing ragged. I can't breathe," she whispered, her voice trembling. Tunde looked around: no taxis, no pedestrians, no one to help. He knew time was running out. "Sit small here, Ma," he said, guiding her toward a wooden bench outside the shop. "I go find help." He ran into the rain, splashing through puddles, shouting into the empty street. No one answered. The race to the chemist. Tunde returned, rain dripping from his hair. "Madam, hold my hand. We go walk a small." With effort, she stood, leaning on him. He guided her toward the only lit place he knew, a small chemist shop a few streets away. Inside, the pharmacist took one look and sprang into action. "This woman is in early labor. We must get her to a hospital now." Tunde's eyes darted toward the street. "But no motor there." The pharmacist shook his head. "Find one. Fast." Tunde didn't think twice. He bolted back into the rain, waving frantically at every set of headlights. Most cars sped past, splashing him with dirty water. Finally, an old kiki stopped. "Oga, abeg. No emergency, hospital now." The driver took one look at Tunde's urgency and nodded. Minutes later, they were racing through the rain, the woman groaning softly beside him. At the hospital, nurses rushed forward the moment they arrived. They wheeled her away, leaving Tunde in the waiting room, dripping wet and shivering. He sat on the cold metal chair, unsure whether to stay or leave. After all, she didn't know him. But something inside told him to wait. Hours passed. The rain slowed to a drizzle. Finally, a nurse emerged, smiling. "She's fine. And so is the baby. She asked to see you." Inside the ward, the woman lay on a bed, a tiny newborn swaddled in her arms. Her eyes softened when she saw Tunde. "You saved my life," she said, her voice breaking. "And my child's. I don't even know your name." "Tunde, Ma," he replied, eyes downcast. She reached for his hand. "Tunde." I owe you more than I can ever repay. Do you know who I am? He shook his head. My name is Grace Adewale. My family owns Adewale Holdings. Ton froze. Everyone in Lagos knew the name. It was one of the biggest companies in Nigeria. A new world. 2 weeks later, Ton's life changed completely. Grace kept her word. She found him, brought him into her mansion, and gave him food, clothes, and a warm bed. The first night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The sheets were soft, the air warm. He had never slept like that before. She enrolled him in school. At first, it was hard. His accent and street manner made him the target of ridicule. But Grace encouraged him. Never be ashamed of where you came from. That's your strength. Months passed. Ton began to thrive. His grades improved. His confidence grew. Full circle. One evening, he returned to the corner where he once slept. He saw other street children there, curled up against the cold. He handed them bread and bottled water. Your story go change one day too, he said softly. Just hold on. Back in his room, he sat by the window, looking at the stars. This time, he smiled. Because he knew that a single act of kindness on a rainy night had saved 2 lives, and in return, had given him one of his own. Thanks for watching this wonderful story till the end. Share your thoughts with us and hope you enjoyed it. See you in our next story. Bye for now.